Depot. Home Depot is got giant shelves for storage, so you can store stuff and gather there and scavenge everywhere. On top of that, like if you've ever been, I don't know Home Depot out here, but in California, that thing is a castle. Like they have these cement walls that are gigantic, and there's. But anyways, that would be my pick. But I think the best choice would probably be like a military installation with nice thick walls. Yeah.
Something underground.
Yeah, going Walking Dead. Other questions?
Oh, finally, yes. Woohoo! This side of the room.
How long do you think the zombie apocalypse would actually last before it be brought upon us, given the fact that winter is very cold?
I love this question. Okay. So if we're gonna have a zombie apocalypse, we have to go two routes. You either have to suspend disbelief that the corpses are animated and they're not going to rot like at irregular rates, and in that case, who knows? But if we were to be bound by science, which I don't think we'll have a zombie apocalypse, to be honest with you. I wish, but if we're bound by science, a few days and the corpses would rot. So I guess it would just be how fast does the infection spread and how constant is the infection.
Well, the scarier part about
Maybe
that is
a few years.
in the winter it would actually preserve a body that is rotting, and then in the summer it would accelerate it.
Yeah.
So the winter is not when I would want to fight them, especially because it's cold outside. But like the suspending belief on it is like another deal. It's like, just imagine this: in 24 hours, it's kind of gross to know this, but in 24 hours, when a body is dead, if you are moving a human body that is like, let's say, laying like this, and you're straightening the arms down to the side, you are breaking bones because of rigor mortis. So imagine what that would be like in 48 hours, or 72, or 96. I mean, it is. That's where I was laughing about the funniest question I've ever thought of when it comes to zombies is necrosis and movement, because a real life zombie would just be somebody laying there going, and they ain't gonna do anything. You just sit there and look at them and go, I'm gonna go pickpocket you and just take everything out and just walk off because they ain't moving nowhere.
Go ahead. I got nothing else to give you, but we'll take the question for sure. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hold on, I just had a brain fart. I'm sorry.
The infection's hitting
Right,
them hard.
right. In Max Brooks' Zombie Survival Guide, he actually says that there can be zombie outbreaks without them actually being a zombie apocalypse, and I think he actually says that some have actually happened. Do you think that is true?
I want to.
With things that happen in Florida and stuff.
Yeah, the Florida. Well, I guess bath salts could kind of be thought of as a zombie outbreak because it was
A tiny one.
a tiny one. Yeah, and then rabies. What else?
Well, I think, was it today they announced on the radio there's West Nile coming? So we're gonna get another West Nile infection.
I don't know. We've had that in California.
Yeah.
We've lived that from. Yeah. I guess I don't know. I want to believe in it. Thank you.
And at the same time, you don't want to believe.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I got here late, so I don't know if this has been asked or not. But, outside of this, how strong a factor do you think animals would be in a zombie apocalypse? Because, they eat dead things. So,
The question to that would be the zombie or the animal.
Like a sudden influx of vultures. Like all of a sudden we have like millions of vultures everywhere now.
Well, go ahead. You take this.
That was my only thought.
I think I don't know. They'd be eating dead flesh and obviously infected flesh. So even if the virus didn't infect them, it might kill them and spread. I think the rules of disease apply for sure. So huge, gigantic, especially rats. I have a fear of rats.
possums too.
Yeah, possums. Yeah.
Possums are terrifying.
It's
They're like
confirmed.
cat
Hordes
size
of
and their
zombie
eyes are always
possums.
gleaming. It's always at night.
Here's a question for the audience. What's y'all's favorite version of how zombies are created, the contractions, viruses, whether it be a genetic or, you know, what's y'all's favorite
I
versions
really like
of
The
that?
Last of Us.
The Last
That
of Us?
started. I like that. It doesn't really
But that one's
explain
genetic?
what happened.
28 days later.
28 days later? That's one of the most hotly debated ones. You say zombies around that one, and man, some of the purists will go nuts on it. That's great.
I think they're gonna be alive. I don't think the dead should up.
Rage virus.
Exactly.
Oh, sure.
The dead person's not going to have an immune system. Or a heartbeat. What's up?
Okay, so,
Oh, this.
Just because I said West Nile.
well, it made me think about it, and I thought, you know,
Use this in
if you can get infected by a scratch, by something as simple as that, say a mosquito were to bite you, has a little bit, or bite a zombie, has a little bit of their blood on it, bites you, can you get infected that way?
It kind of depends on how fragile the virus is. Like, you can have a deadly virus, but it can still be really fragile when it hits air. Like, I think HIV is a good example of that.
But would it be like,
It
if
also,
you're still alive, you know, you don't get bit by a zombie, you die of natural causes, but then you come back as a zombie, like, it's really...
I think it also is going to depend what writing world that you're in, because like say for instance in the Walking Dead, when they cut off the leg, you know, that had been bit, then you look over like War Z, which is the worst movie in the world. Sorry, that's just my opinion, but
Yep.
they cut off the arm. It works. It stopped the virus, but then there's other times to where if you get bit, immediately you start turning within seconds. You can't do that in some, but in some others you could. If it was a mosquito in the World War Z, I don't even know if it would hurt you because it wouldn't be enough to get past you. But if you were looking over at some of Romero's work, if you got down to mosquitoes, it'd probably kill you instantly or turn you instantly. So.
Like, even more than just mosquitoes, like the simplest bug bite, you know, code, whatever. Like
Zombie
blood.
beetles.
Oh, God, no.
Here we
You
go.
would have to be paranoid. You're right. You would have to be completely paranoid about any bloodborne, anything to do
My
with
grandma's cat would
Anything.
already look perfect because it stays in the perfect state of.
There's a book. I had to look it up. I scrambled for my thing. There's a book called The Loving Dead by Neil Beamer, and it's like a zombie plague that's spread by STDs.
The living
Um,
or the loving?
It's The Loving Dead.
Oh, I see.
It takes place in the Bay Area. Just the thought of a zombie STD is just, it creeps me out terribly.
Whoa! I was just kidding. It really is.
Yeah, it really is a book.
Oh, wow.
No, it's not Skidford. No, God, no. God, no.
I was like, why would they advertise that?
But, has anyone seen Reanimator? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Three.
So, a little questionable stuff there. Any more questions? We got 5 minutes, so maybe one more. Well, let's take someone who hasn't.
There's always the character in stories that keeps their loved ones dead in hopes that there's going to be a cure.
For
You
sure.
never tell how you're going to react. Do you guys honestly think that you would be that? Or would you
Yeah, do it. That's a good question.
You're talking to two, or you're talking to three parents.
Again, the publisher who he keeps shamelessly plugging all of our stuff. Another one of our authors, Steve Shoemaker, has a story that's pretty much exactly that. And it's a short story. It's really good. It's called Funeral. It's going to be out on Amazon, I would say, hopefully in the next couple weeks or so. We've gotten some new artwork for it, and so it'll be released very soon. So keep in touch with Falco Publishing, and you can read sort of his take on that. But yeah, what's your guys' take on it?
I would be the stupid guy that does that.
I think
love
I
my
would be the
kids too
stupid
much.
guy that did. That,
But
that's
it's the
that's
worst
that's the
decision.
first and only time I ever felt bad for the governor.
It's the worst decision you can absolutely make in the zombie apocalypse is to hold on to people who they're gone, and they're going to infect you or kill you or somehow contribute to your end. Even just their noise will give away where you're at.
Except for Michonne, she did possibly the
But I would
most brilliant
Yeah.
thing with her two. Wasn't that her two brothers, or one was a brother, one was a
It
cousin?
was her boyfriend and her
Yeah, her boyfriend and her brother.
Boyfriend and brother, yeah. And if you're not familiar with Walking Dead, Michonne cut both their arms off and both of their lower jaws to where they couldn't bite. Well, then she put them on chains and was walking with them. Well, zombies left her alone because they thought all three of them were zombies, so they became like the perfect camouflage. I don't know if I could do that either. I'm not gonna start hacking up relatives.
Well, what about just random people?
Oh yeah. You bet your ass on that one. I would be like, I don't like this one.
So,
As a matter of fact, I would probably just try and find the biggest zombies that I possibly could and then do that too.
Yeah.
Just go, go on. But I would be humane about it. I would get like a Mickey Mouse leash, you know, I would take care of it. I would put like super cool shirts on them, like goodbye from the edge of never. You know, Tokyo and Tulsa shirts.
We have to go. I've got a book signing in a half hour. We got to wrap it up for the next panel. Thank you all. We're Falcor Publishing. Take it.
Come up and get some postcards and bookmarks. The postcards have some information on the back for a short story that's free, that's on our site. We're gonna have we are in the vendors table all weekend. So come see us tomorrow and Sunday. We'll be at our table. We're selling signed copies of Steve's book. And again, we are Falcor Publishing. Stay in touch and thanks a lot, guys.
And these cards are collector series as they're only available at the cons from us.
And please bring your hypothetical questions. And all your let's argue zombies all weekend. I'm good with that.
I'll be up in a little bit.
Thank you.